present. Animation slideshow. All right. The goal, I mean, I've done this now 3 times, is just to teach you guys like what's possible, with athletic performance. It's definitely going to be a lot different than people have seen in the past. So the whole goal is just to teach you like why we're doing what we're gonna do, what it is, because most people just don't know. These are things, we'll send this to you. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about who I am, but in case you don't know, if you're asking, like, I've coached since 1997 was my first athlete. And so I was also, played football at Appalachian State. I was a 3-time world champion in powerlifting. I was at the Olympic Training Center weightlifting. I did bobsledding even, but I've coached, I don't know how many Division I. Definitely hundreds of Division I, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, now UFC of late. So what does that matter? I could be terrible, just people think I'm cool. So that's the key. Just because someone's coached a lot of people doesn't mean they're good, but in this case, maybe. I hope it does. So this is my goal for Rise, is that, we have so many different things going on. Like we have, combat with wrestling, and they have, jiu-jitsu. Then we have basketball, and we have volleyball. We have RSP. So we have all these things. So my goal is to what's the heart of the whole thing? And I want this to be different. So by doing some biomechanical testing and being able to tell kids, if they want to, I don't know, let's say that they want to, whether they want to start at the high school level or they want to play college or the one who wants to be pro, I want to be able to tell them where they're at and what they need to do to get to where they want to be, So that's the goal here. Instead of just, telling kids, oh, you're getting better, what does that mean? Are they? And to give kids, if they really want to be good, or if they just want to be healthy, no matter what it is, what they need to improve on because of this, okay? So that's the whole goal that I have. Today we're going to talk about the 10 main benefits of athletic performance. My guy, Andy Galpin, is the one who talked about this did it twice, on Joe Rogan, and he was on, I always forget, what's his name? Oh, what's the podcast? Huberman, gosh. Huberman Lab podcast. That's arguably the #1 health and fitness podcast in the world. But when he was on there, he talked about the 9 attributes. So I started thinking about that, could there be a program who actually, looked at all those 9, and so then and actually added one. So we're going to go over those 9, now 10, and how we intend on helping athletes reach all of them. So they're skill development. Now, I can't teach them to shoot basketball, but I can teach them skill development in the means of how you run, how you jump, how you change directions. I can also do there's speed, and then there's strength, and then there's power. And so many people, they think power, they think explosive, but really at the end of the day, when you define what strength is, it's really a form, they're all the same thing. So speed is velocity, it means how fast is one moving, either side to side or front to back, whatever direction they do in their sport. Strength is how much force they can create in that moment. It's not necessarily, when you say strength, it's not about who can lift the most weight, because it's irrelevant. I could be a power lifter, it doesn't mean anything on the football field because I'm slow. It means how much force can I create in the given time of the sport, So if it's a sprinter, they've got about an elite world-class 100-meter sprinter has about 10 seconds. So if anything past that is pointless. Matter of fact, they have about 0.15 seconds to create force when their foot strikes the ground. So being super strong doesn't matter, to them. So can we turn it off? Just turn it off. Yeah, we tried, man. We tried. I mean, we were pushing all the buttons. It's just not.
It's paired now. That's right.
Huh?
It's paired now. That's right. I'll get it set up from the other side.
All right.
Yeah, we'll stream that.
Yeah. So And then there's strength, there's speed, power is defined as the combination of the two. But at the end of the day, they're all the same, in scientific terms. So the key is like, what sport? What are they going to do? So it's like a sprinter needs to be kind of strong, but really just super fast. So it's the rate at which you do things, it's got to be fast, Football player, there's a time and a place to be super strong. If you're a lineman, a linebacker, they better be pretty strong. So you got to know what sport. Soccer player needs to be pretty fast, kind of strong, pretty fast for a long time, endurance. So anyway, you got to know who they are and what they are. Now, there's a lot of elements though that go into speed. There's elasticity. So there's the nervous system, and there's elasticity. That means the tendons, the ligaments, the tighter they are, the faster they'll be. And so now the nervous system, the better the nervous system is at sending the signal from the brain to the joint, that's the nervous system. So that's it too. The rate of force development, really part of the whole thing. But when your foot strikes the ground, it's not like the brain sending the signal. When a doctor at the doctor's office hits your knee and your foot strikes or kicks out, that's what you're looking at when you're really thinking about speed. Because that signal, when your foot hits the ground, doesn't go from the brain down. It goes from the foot to the spine and back. It's a reflex. So that's a big difference. So you got to know, to be really good at helping someone get strong, you got to know all those things. And you got to know how to measure it. You got to know how to see what is it causing them not to be as fast as they want to be. And so then there's anaerobic capacity, meaning if they're, when you do something as hard as you can for as long as you can, you can't breathe any longer. That's anaerobic capacity. And then there's aerobic capacity. That's a person who can just go forever. Go and go and go. Like think marathon person. And there's elements to all of these that you have to measure. Muscular endurance is someone who can be really strong for a long time. A wrestler better be really good at muscular endurance, or a fighter. Then there's the functional movement. That's the one I added, which is surprisingly, he didn't add that one. I wonder if he just didn't think of it. But I need to know how they move, because that could be a big point of why they're not able to do what they need to do. So you got to be able to see how they move through space. And then finally, lifestyle, meaning the thing that since I've been here, which I've only been here for a year, the thing I've noticed the most is this. Almost every kid is you ask them, what do you do before you go to bed? And they're on their phone. And so that's a huge, if they really want to be super good, that's a big red flag, because if you're for you guys too, this is a hard one for me. I'm about to say, I try to practice what I preach, but not always. But the last hour before you go to bed, if you're on your phone, it's blue light. And so your body doesn't really start to release melatonin, because blue light is the same as the sun. So it thinks the sun's out. And so even though you might go to sleep, you're not going to get all the awesome stuff that happens when you sleep that should happen, because your circadian rhythms are getting messed up. So anyway, that's just one example of just I'm not going to be the guy that gives anybody a diet, but making lifestyle choices based on what the kids tell me, I will do that. So if they just want to be healthy, which I hope, because let's be honest, they're going to be very straight. How many kids are really going to be Division I, or how many kids are going to go to the NFL? It's less than 1%. And so my goal is that all these kids leave me learning to be fit and as healthy as possible. So changing their lifestyle throughout their time with me, that is more important than anything. To me, it didn't used to be. It did not used to be. It used to be like, I just want to win. I want to help these kids get as good as they can. I still do, but I care about other things now. I'm older. 51, you have your own kids and you think there's more to life than just winning, but definitely like winning, don't get me wrong, but just changing their mindset, helping them set their goals, helping them reach those goals based on the systems that they set up. So that'll be the key, is that the parents will never be able to want it bad enough for a kid. No kid will do anything extraordinary because the parents want them to do. I've never seen it in my 20-something years. It's God because they want to. So And like even if the parent wants me, I'll do the best I can. But you know, the odds are if they don't want it, it won't happen. So these are some of the assessments. So looking at range of motion, you know, we look at one. There's one just where if I have a kid hold something over their head and do a full squat, if they can do that, almost every joint in their body is like perfect. So far, I haven't seen anyone, but like, so I'll watch them, and if they don't pass it, which most don't, then I'll go joint for joint and try to find out which joint is not moving correctly. You know, a lot of times it's ankle, hips, and so I'll figure out what it is. And then if they're not moving well, I also got to find out if there's pain. There's been some kids, young kids, who experience a lot of pain in their hips, you know, from just going too hard too long. So, you know, I try to address that. Then we look at various aspects of speed, like acceleration. You know, acceleration like this first 10 yards when I'm running, changing direction, maintaining speed. That's another one. So like, if someone runs like a 40-yard dash or a 60-yard dash, there's so many elements to that. I got to find out why they're not running the time they want. So if you have them do one 60-yard dash, if you have enough sensors, which now we're getting, we have a really cool laser right now, but we're going to get several of them now. I'll be able to, in one sprint, be able to see, is it acceleration? Is it their ability to maintain that speed after they get up to full speed? So those are very different problems depending on what it is. So then change of direction. And then there's some cool advanced things, which we have these little, it's called velocity-based training, where I can measure the speed of the bar, but there's some testing I do that really tells me a bunch. Like, have you guys ever heard of people say, like, oh, that person needs to squat so they're faster? And then some people say, oh, you don't need to squat to be faster. And the answer is they both could be right, but you got to find out. Some people, it's called a strength deficit. Some people, and so far I've seen a lot of this, they use every bit of force that they're capable of when they sprint or jump. And if that's the case, the only way to get them stronger or jump higher is they have to get stronger. Now, if you sprint or jump and you don't use what you're capable of, then you don't need to get stronger. You need to just get faster. So, or you're perfect. And there's been a few who are perfect as far as the ratio between what they're capable of doing and what they're doing. So, you know, you see this big, strong dudes, but they're slow, bodybuilder. Odds are, aren't very fast. And so it doesn't do them any good. And I get so many parents, don't bulk my kid up. And they have a point. Not many kids are going to get really big no matter what I do, but I need to know, you know, are they using their strength? So, like, I'll give you an example. Like Neil, the owner, do you know the Cornetters? Anybody? So the twins, you know, his daughter and his son, like, they're totally opposite. So I measure them, and the son, he's super fast and can jump super high, but he's got a long ways to go as far as getting stronger. So he needs to get stronger to be able to jump any higher or run faster. So the daughter, on the other hand, is like perfectly powerful, it's called. She has just enough of both. So their program is different. Like, it doesn't look way different. It doesn't have to be like completely crazy, but he needs to focus on getting strong. So he doesn't need to do a lot of jumping or any crazy speed stuff, but she'll do more of both. That's it. And if the person that's really strong and slow, his workout will look way different than both of them. So, but you got to be able to test. So the answer is maybe. Did I already? Anyways, this is some of the cool stuff we're getting. It's a sled that's going to measure how strong you are side to side. It'll tell me, you know, if they're pushing more with the right or the left side, so it'll show me asymmetries. So anyway, by the way, anytime you have questions, like if I make it too complicated, tell me. I can break it down. Or if you want me to go deeper, I'll do that too, so whichever. So, all right. Speed endurance. If you're a soccer, what sport do you play?
Wrestling.
Oh yeah, I've seen you out there. So a wrestler. That test wouldn't be good, but you need to be good at like anaerobic conditioning, because you need to be able to go really hard and like get at it and keep going without getting tired. And so that's how it's how your body uses what's called lactate. Because you're burning, you get that burning feeling, you're breathing super hard. Your body is trying to get oxygen, it's trying to get the lactate flushed throughout the body. So I need to find out what is your lactate threshold, what is your VO2 max, like what is your body's total ability to use oxygen. So there's a lot. Wrestling and fighting is one of my favorites because it's so complex. The fighter I have, this guy, he fights next weekend. And so I don't even tell you who he is, because if he gets beat, then you'll think I'm not good. But his name's Brad Katona. But he won the Ultimate Fighter twice. The only guy ever to do that. He trains with Conor McGregor. He's a super nice guy, and he's super smart. So it's like a puzzle. Training him is the most fun thing I've had to do because there's so many variables. And anyway, so you got to find out, all these elements to see if what could I do to make you a better wrestler? Because I'm not going to be able to teach you wrestling, but I can make you a better athlete in regards to wrestling. That's what our job is. And so, but we do all of these tests. We do a vertical leap, which is a typical vertical leap, and we do a drop jump. Now this is one that most coaches don't because they don't have the equipment. But when you jump off of something and then you hit the ground, get off as fast as you can, and jump high, that's where I can test. You remember the nervous system I told you about, where a doctor hits your knee? The amount of time you spend on the ground tells me so much. If it's a long time, then your nervous system is not very good, or your elasticity, your tendons. And so, because if you take a long time to get off the ground, but you jump super high, then you're strong, plenty strong because you jumped high. But I need to work on other qualities, like your tendons and it's called your stretch shortening cycle. And so there's these things, what it is things called the muscle spindles, and they run with your muscle fibers. And so when you stretch them really fast, like when your foot hits the ground, it sends a signal to the brain, or it sends a signal to the spine to contract. It's trying to protect itself from ripping because you're stretching too fast. So then it contracts really fast without you doing anything. So it's called passive force, meaning force you don't do. You have nothing to do with. It's just your nervous system. So there's also a thing called the Golgi tendon organ, which is in your tendons. Once again, when you stretch it really fast, it will shut you down. And so which it'll just make you go weak. When you try to change directions and you just kind of fall, that's that thing inhibiting, because it's afraid you're going to tear the tendon. So you got to inhibit it, meaning you got to turn it off over time because it trusts that you're strong enough. And the other one, you got to get better at stretching. So it's a fun thing as a coach to be able to work that, because it's forced the kids don't have to. You see those twitchy people use that word twitchy, you see Usain Bolt, he's not very strong. He's incredibly good at all those things I just said. His tendons are super thick and strong. And his nervous system is obviously better than anyone's. Fastest guy of all time. So then we do the broad jump, the triple jump. This is the thing we use to measure speed. It measures all kinds of things, because once you have distance and time and how much she weighs and the load on the bar, you can do anything. Power is 4 times the velocity. So, work is 4 times the distance. You've got everything once you have that. So, the dynamic strength index, that's the thing that tells me, should you be lifting or should you be doing something explosive like jumping? The reactive strength index is what tells me, should you be focusing on elasticity and your nervous system, or what? See, this one, the dynamic strength index tells me, should you be explosive, should you be strong, and then the reactive strength index tells me what component of the explosive movement should you be doing. So, then there's the force velocity profile. That's super advanced. So when you take somebody through a movement that relates to their sport from the beginning to the end, you see a quality of strength. That's the lactate threshold I told you about. That's the VO2 max I told you about. And so what would all this tell me? What does it mean to you guys? I'll be able to see, do you need acceleration? Do you need max speed? Do you need jump height? Is it your technique that's off? That when you run, what is your force velocity curve, elasticity? It'll tell me everything I need to know. I'll be able to look you in the eye and say, if you tell me you want to wrestle Division I, I'll be able to tell you this is where you're at, and this is how far you're going to go, and this is what you need to work on athletically. To the T. I'll be able to tell you exactly. So what I'm building right now is this. It's going to be pretty cool, and we'll be the first place to have it. I'm building this, it's called like a combine for every sport, so I can tell every kid that comes here where you're at athletically based on your sport and the age in the country. So I'll be able to say, how old are you?
Oh, 16.
So I'll be able to say, female, 16-year-old, wrestling, this is where you're at compared to your other people in the country. So especially weight class, with wrestling I have to say weight class too. So it'll be pretty neat. Football's a lot easier, I don't worry about weight class, but so it'll be pretty neat. And I'm almost done. Thanks to AI, I thought this would take me forever, but it's not hard now. Just say, hey, find these numbers for me. And it does it. So it's pretty cool. So that's it. It also, like rotational motion too now. Like if you're a baseball player or if you're a softball player, thrower, whatever, golfer, I'll be able to tell you like your speed of rotation, your like, really it's rotation that was what made me fall in love with biomechanics. I took biomechanics my first year in doing my master's program, and I fell in love with it because there's so many variables. It's like if you like puzzles, biomechanics is awesome. And so, is it your shoulder to hip separation? Is it if you're a baseball player, is it how far you stride out? Is it how much you can externally rotate? So many variables in rotation. To the parent or coach, I'll be like, are you fast enough? What do you need to do to improve? Can you jump well? What do you need to do? Can they change directions? Why can't they throw or hit? Why they're not as accurate? Why you're not as good in the third period? Why they're getting fatigued? Wrestling, triathlon. Precisely where are they compared to where they want to be? And where you're coming up short or not. Maybe you're perfect. And then what needs to be done to close the gap. Some of the feedback that we give you guys, we did a bunch. In the last 2 weeks, I've been crushed. It's like we've had a lot of assessments. So it's been fun though, but I've been getting killed. That's good. Mostly important is the athlete or client will know exactly what it is they need to work on, sprint speed, all these things again. I don't need to repeat it. I'll be able to tell you your rate of force development and then how the athlete stacks up against similar athletes in their sport. And then we provide what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, and most importantly, how to fix it. And so we have apps that we give you, when people work with me, like the thing that goes wrong with kids is like, they get strong with us, then you go on vacation, get strong with us, then you start school. And so like I have this app that I worked with the company to develop. It's pretty neat. So even if you're not here, like there's a girl, her name's Eden, they're going on vacation for 2 weeks, and they're going to tell me what's at the town they're going to, and I'll be able to tell her a workout to do without me. And so if she doesn't have anything, if you go to the Outer Banks and there's nothing, I'll tell you what to do at your house. And so with no equipment, but no one goes backwards. It's just the thing. If it's important. Now look, if you're just wanting to do as good as you can in high school, then don't worry about all that by all means. So, but if you do, you can work out. If you're in season and like you just can't get in here, I'll tell you what to do at home or somewhere else. It's fine. I don't care. I just want to help you guys. So, this is the thing. What I do here is I do the assessments. So I can do the assessments. I will design the programs if they work with me, teach other. I'm working with the other coaches to be able to do the assessments and to be able to coach like me. We have worked super hard, especially of late, like doing exactly like technique exactly correct. And we still have some of them still have room to go. And we've made some changes of late that we're going to make sure movement is perfect. Because if you just come here and we work the heck out of you and you go through here and you're sweating, there's a good chance nothing happened of value. And so that's not what we want. I want it to be done exactly what you need. And done exactly like I say. And so we will collect, organize, and present the data ongoing. So if you guys want to work with me, I'll assess you Every 6 weeks, I'll reassess, and we'll see if they're getting better. I will never, ever, if you come to me and say, are they getting better? There's no chance I'll ever not have the answer. And I'll show you the data. And I'll even say they're not, so we need to change something. So, but I'll tell you exactly. So we'll do assessment-driven prescriptions, and so ongoing education. That's what I do with our coaches, like teaching them biomechanics, anatomy, physiology, data collection, assessment. So, and then I work with a lot of the elite athletes, and sometimes I try to jump in the groups and work with everybody. So I'm hoping to. Some of the tools that we use, some of the things that we're getting the new, I told you, the new lasers, so I'll be able to do not just like straight away, but I'll be able to do agility stuff, and I'll tell you also side to side exactly how fast. That crazy sled, we'll be the first place to have it in the entire country. So that one's out of the country from Australia as well. So luckily I know the dude, so he's gonna give it to us to be the first to talk about it. I'm gonna write about it for him. But we get it for free, I'm excited. And then blood flow restriction, we already have that. Have you ever heard of that? It's not, I doubt I'll ever use it with a kid, but if she gets older, if she were to, God forbid, get injured, or him, we get blood flow restriction, you can do really light stuff and still get improvements from the ligaments, tendons, and muscles. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, because it cuts off the muscle, it cuts off the blood, your muscles are able to get stronger without having to have a heavy load. So it's a great way to get someone strong. Or if you need to target, if we decide that, this is later, they're too young, but let's say that they're 18 and there's like this muscle that's lagging, we can target it. We can do it daily because it doesn't cause a lot of, it doesn't make them super sore. So let's say their calves are small and they're making them slow, whatever. We can target it, and it won't make them sore or cause them fatigue when they train. So pretty neat. Anyway, that is it. It's a lot of stuff. Do you guys have questions?
Usually, like when you first assess them, how long does that usually take?
About an hour. So maybe sometimes shorter.
It's that quick. I don't know if it's days or whatever.
No, it depends on what it is. So there's more than one assessment. So it just depends. Young, I would just say we have these levels, but just it's called like the silver, do it. And it takes normally a day, but I think though, next week that we're going to change it. So what I'm going to do is, let's say that you want me to assess her. It'll be a program I designed for her, and she'll do it for 6 weeks. And in those 6 weeks, I'll gather information because I'll be able to teach her things along those 6 weeks, and we'll slowly gather more data to make a decision. Because what I'm finding when they first start, I'm having to teach them technique so much. It's like I need a few weeks to get them to where the assessment's going to give me good feedback. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's built into the workout. Plus, it doesn't take me like 3 days to assess them. I can start training them and getting them better while I'm gathering them information. Then after the 6 weeks, then we say, now let's move forward. So,
She stays pretty busy during the summer when
okay.
she works. Your knowledge-wise, how many days does she have to come a week to really tell a difference? She wouldn't be able to come every day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever trained before? Have you ever done strength training?
Well, you can answer.
Yeah.
She just got, one reason I want to jump on it, she just got done to school. They're in dead period now.
Right.
And she does weightlifting as a class at school. She does weightlifting after.
Where do you go to school?
West Forsyth.
Okay, sweet. So you're done with school now. Are you? Don't you guys have next week too, or not?
I'm not going. I only have one exam. So.
Perfect.
But she's done for working out like it's just a dead period or something.
Good. So the most you've done is work out at the school, really? All right. How many days a week did you work out there?
4.
Yeah. Honestly, I would recommend 3 days a week. At most 4, at the very most. Because if I can here's the thing that people don't know. If I can get her strong and fast and in better shape in 3 days, then I should do that. Because if we want to jump on 5 days a week, you can't go backwards now. So you want to get the most out of the least. So what you did in 4 days won't be anything like what you're about to do in 3 days here. It'll be a whole different ball game. And so if she sees improvement in those days, they'll probably, after I assess her, we think she can do it home.
Yeah.
Almost every kid I've been with so far has homework because of this or that. But like with here, I think 3, the most 4, because
She'll be doing during the summer probably the wrestling club.
Yeah.
1 or 2 days a week.
Yeah.
On top of it.
the kid, the UFC fighter only does twice. They've got so much going on, and we're getting better.
Yeah.
So like, get the most out of the least. You do the least amount you can to see improvement, and when that stops, add 1. Don't just start. You can't go backwards. So we started at 5 or 6 days, and we start killing her. Then she'll never be able to go backwards.
Yeah.
Because nothing will happen. So get the most. If nothing happens in 3 or 4 days, then we'll add. But like, yeah, and we'll be able. If she can't come here all the time, you tell me where she will go, or at home, or whatever you want to do.
If she's got time, she would be here.
Perfect. So,
She works 40 plus hours a week during the summer.
where are you going to work?
I work at Camp Manna down in Knoxville.
What?
Camp Manna. It's summer camp.
It's a Christian-based camp at our church.
Super
that
cool.
do in the summer, so
Yeah.
she does it. She did it last summer and did good. So
Awesome.
add something to it.
That's a super cool job. Yeah. So, are you gonna be super tired when you come here in the evening, or?
Some days. It's just kind of hit or miss. It depends on the day. Some days
Right.
are worse than others.
Do you work on the weekends?
No.
So, I'm really considering opening up a day on Saturday. We don't do it now, but I'm considering doing it with my people on Saturdays, like because a lot of them can be non-fatigued.
Yeah.
So, we'll figure it out. Is what I'm saying.
Well, and if
Yeah.
she is fatigued, most of the time it's going to be a mental fatigue.
Right.
Dealing with kids, not.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, this brings me to another thing. Is like mental fatigue can be just as much as physical.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
matter of fact, that's called CNS fatigue. Can like make it to where that she can't even learn how to run well. Like, but I'll be able to. Need to put that in my presentation. We monitor fatigue. I do with my athletes. There's a thing they don't even know it. And so, but I measure the speed of their movements, and like on a day, if she comes in and she's slower than normal, there'll be some questionnaires. Every day she comes to me, she'll have to answer these questions. Normally, I'll never say a word, but when I see the speed dropping, if she's 10% slower than normal, what I'm going to tell her, try that one more time. We won't go any heavier. Try that number one more time. If it's again, everything that I had planned will switch to something else. It'll do really light bodybuilding, and she'll go home. Then I'm going to look at her questionnaire. I'm going to see if there's if something, God forbid, happens to you, or like, I need to know. I need to know, what's causing it.
Or your head's up.
Right. Because it opens up the door for me to say, I noticed you answered that you're stressed out bad, like what's happening. So I don't want to ask every single day, but I want to find out, because if something's happening at home or if exams are going on, like she won't be, it's pointless. Some people would say, oh, if they're that slow, just do technique. Well, that's the dumbest answer. Because believe it or not, if they're slower than 10%, that's the CNS, and you can't learn. That's the day where your brain won't learn new movement patterns. So you're better off to do some really light bodybuilding, believe it or not, just to get a little pump. But the only reason you do that is because it probably maybe triggers like a hormonal response, maybe, which might make you heal better. But thing to do is just go home.
Yeah.
Go home, take a really hot bath or hot shower, and do something to relax is the best bet. But you're talking about once in a blue moon that ever happening. I mean, it's happened like once or twice. Because if it happens, something's wrong. And I'll know. And so I'm not going to be the person. They're not going to get hurt with me because I overworked them. They will not do that. That's not good.
Yeah.
So I know we had a meeting today, and we were just having a group meeting, and we were talking about working them super hard and get sweaty. So you guys think they worked hard? I'm not doing that. I'm going to do what's optimal for them to be a better athlete. Maybe for her, a wrestler, yes, sometimes, but it depends. I'm not doing anything to make you think something. It's like I'm going to do it whatever they need because you told me they want to do X. So it might not be what you think they need. It'll be what I know they need. So, and by all means, I love teaching. This is what I love to do more than anything. Is help people reach their goals, and help the parents understand what I'm doing. Like this is what I want to do. I prefer to do what we're doing right now than anything else I do. I want to change things. I don't want it to be like it's been. Like it needs to change. Like kids shouldn't really work out, personally, in my opinion, at their school because coaches don't know, you know? But they're doing their best. It's not the coach being mean. It's just so many kids, you know, every year kids die at their schools because coaches don't understand science. And so it's like, no kids should ever die because of any sport, because the coach didn't know when to run them when it's super hot, because he did it when he was a kid, you know, like, things need to change. These are kids, like, so this is what I want to do. I want to teach people. So I'll be able to monitor. If she's super tired, I'll know, and I'll address it.
We got a question from Eric Bowman. Asked any specific numbers you use on the dynamic and reactive strength index to guide your way?
Sure.
What thresholds do you use?
So, yeah, with the dynamic strength index, there's like a ratio. So what you're doing is you're taking the amount of force that they're able to produce on their explosive movement, say a vertical leap, compared to the force they're going to do on their strength, like let's say a back squat. And so normally what it is, there's a ratio out there, and it's like if they're between 0.4 to 0.6, that's what's called 0.6 to 0.8, that's a perfectly powerful person. If it's 0.8 or above, that's someone who's incredibly fast but not strong, so they need to get stronger. If they're below the 0.6, that's someone who's incredibly strong but not very fast, and so they need to get fast. And so that's that. With the reactive strength index, what we have is we were like one of the first. I'm the first person. I work with a company out of Australia called Gymwear, and so we developed the reactive strength index for velocity. Normally, you've had to have a force plate to do that, which is super expensive, and so. But I was like, you don't really need that, because if you have speed and you have the load, then force is just mass times acceleration. So anyway, so for our formula, if they're above 1, they're perfect. But really what I'm looking at are the two numbers anyway, because if they jump super high, but still that contact time is slow. And what I'm looking at on the contact time is 0.3 seconds. It's like, if they're 0.3, that's perfect. If it's super slow, like 0.6, they got, you know, their tendons and their neuromuscular system is off pretty badly. So anyway, so those are the numbers. So 1 and above, your RSI is awesome for the way we measure it, and then those are the 3. You can go online, go to gymwear.com to their blog section, and you can actually read these articles. I wrote them, so it's actually no. The RSI one was written by somebody else, but it's my math that they did, so they can go on there and do that. Yeah, good question, Eric Bowman. I feel like I know him.
He said, "I can hear you fine, my old boss. Looking forward to this."
Sweet.
Must have been his boss.
Yes. No, I think he was my boss, Eric Bowman. Anyway, I'll look him up. All right, so any questions? Those are a good question. Really good question. Yeah.
So you would do the assessment, and then you would come up with a game plan
Yep.
for each individual kid, and then
Yep.
how do they execute that with instructor?
Great question. So like what we're doing is I'm going to be here. We're coming up with the schedule. We're meeting tomorrow. So if I'm here, they'll be with me, you know. But yes, our strength coaches here are going to be like, but it'll look similar to the plan they're going to run, because I've written the big plan anyway. So they'll be able to warm up, but then they'll be able to divert. Yeah, they'll guide them. Yeah. Yes.
What they need to be doing.
Correct. Yes, they won't just be like good luck to them. But I'll be here.
I don't want to hand them a sheet of paper and be like, do this.
It won't be a sheet of paper
or
anyway.
whatever,
It'll
and
be an
then-
app.
And
Yeah, yeah.
then come back to us when you're
No.
done.
No way.
In 6 weeks, we'll see how.
No. Have you been back there when I was back there? Like,
No.
no, I coached the heck out of them.
Okay.
To the point where they get tired of hearing me. Yeah. No, I will coach every single set, every single rep.
And then do you have like set, will you have a set schedule like?
Yes.
Or like 4:30 or
Yeah, that's what we're
whatever.
going to do tomorrow. We're going to do some, because it's summertime, so we'll have some morning classes, some evening classes. And when I'm here, we'll be able to tell you after tomorrow. But yeah, but they'll be able to handle it because, we'll have two like certified strength and conditioning coaches, and we'll also have an intern, so there'll be plenty of people to help. So, but I'll be here. I want to coach my people as much as I can. So, yeah, no, I coach. There'll be no handing them a piece of paper. So, yeah.
With you, it's the same way like combat. Is it monthly, no contract, or how's it work?
Yeah, there's no contract.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So I do want to get the point of there's no. I never want anyone to sign a contract, but I do want people to eventually see the value in never quitting, even if it gets a lot cheaper, just so I can I don't want her to get super awesome and then you stop and then she gets super not awesome again. I want to be able to. When they're in college, they train you around.
Well, she's been working out at school. She's actually started to see the game. She started to get stronger. So
Good.
I don't want to stop that. I want to
Me either. And so when I get her way stronger than she did there, I want her to, when she's wrestling, go 1-2 days, even if it's not here, just make a game plan and we do it. Keep doing it somewhere, home, wherever. Yeah, I want to create. Here I go wanting to win, but it's true. I'm gonna make this. If they want it, I'm gonna want it too. So I want to make them elite.
Yeah. That'll be on you because she'll come by herself. It won't be
Perfect.
I'm not gonna be a coach's parent.
Awesome. Neither am I. Believe it or not, I'm not gonna coach my own kids.
I'll come up here if she'll let me. That'll be it.
Good. Sweet. So well then yes, if she looks me in the eye and she tells me she wants to be X, then what I do is have them write the goals, and when they don't do what I've asked them, I'm going to flip it around and say, are you sure? So if your actions don't match your lips, then I'm going to flip it around. I won't be mad at you at all. I'll be like, are you sure of this?
In my opinion on her, even if the wrestling stops in high school, she enjoys working out.
Perfect.
So.
Well then, that's even, I've coached weightlifting. I've coached over 40 Team USA weightlifters too. So there's that as well. So she loves working out. So we know he's one of them. Yeah. So there's this sport, or there's powerlifting, or anyway. Sarah, Sarah out there, she was almost a Team USA weightlifter. She was a world champion powerlifter, and then now she won the nationals in strongman. And she's a firefighter, and she's CSCS certified. She's an exercise science major from college. She's pretty awesome. And she's been with me since 2016. I love her. So she's amazing. I hope my daughter is just like her. So.
Now, would she work with all y'all get y'all's hands on all the kids?
Me mainly.
Yeah.
And so,
yes.
and then,
I'm primarily an athlete.
Yeah.
I work here and I much prefer to do media stuff. If I'm back there, I see a coach.
Yeah.
A kid might not have a coach's attention.
Yeah.
I might correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all here to help.
Yes. So, yeah. And then there's something I want to tell you, but I don't know until tomorrow. There's going to be a new coach. I don't want to tell you. I think there is at least. So, but it's really good news, but I'm waiting. So, yeah.
That's all we'll do. We'll just let you have your meeting stuff, get back with you and see.
Sure.
Talk to her.
Yeah.
See what we're gonna do here. So
Yeah.
I know if we decide to do it, all of hers will be evening workouts.
Perfect.
Because of the work.
Sounds good. Yeah. Sweet. Is that a good camp? How old you got to be?
You have to be a rising freshman.
Yeah, my kids are too young. So.
No.
To
To
go
come
there,
there?
Yeah.
You have to be going into kindergarten.
Oh,
Go
good.
from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Okay.
Oh, it's awesome day camp. They're eventually trying to make it to overnight camp. That's what they're working on. But to be considered overnight camp, you have to be able to house 500 kids.
Oh, I got two.
It takes a little bit.
I got two boys. My daughter's not quite old enough yet. But
Oh, they'd love it because she can tell y'all about it. She's
Yeah.
Kids love it.
sweet.
Any other questions, guys, before I close the live stream?
That was a great question for you, though. No, it will not be like anything like that. No chance. No, I don't want it to be like anything you've ever seen before. I want it to be the best experience you've ever seen. It will be.
Because
Yeah.
it differentiates from the sports performance training, and that it's more individualized.
Yes.
Their their specific sports and assessment.
and needs. It'll be based on their sport and then their genetics, their testing based on what I see.
Where
Yeah.
where the sports performance is more like an overall.
It is, and the sports performance is still good, and like it's going to get better too. And so, it's just general. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're still getting like strong, but this is like
Yes.
more targeted to their
It's very
specific
it's very
sport
targeted.
and their specific need.
And we do measure back there too. And like every 6 weeks we do, it's just not as big of an assessment, you know. And we make sure kids are getting better, because if they're not, then we need to change the program. But yeah, it's still very good. That is very good. But if you want to exact, then I'm a person. So, and that's me too. Like the program is me as well. So we're meeting again tomorrow about that too. Like they don't really, kids aren't really writing down, but they're going to. Like I can't. It drives me crazy. You know, like they'll have to do what I do, but I mean we got to know what is their volume. We got to know, are they getting better? Like if you don't write anything down, how do you know? Like I track everything, as he well knows. It's too much. I'm obsessive, but yeah. Like if you want to see, hold on. Let's see. I'll show you. Hold on. Like let me show you. So some people talk. I'll show you. Hold on. Let's see. Everybody says X, but what do you really do? Let's see. Right there. Tell everyone there. We'll send it to them. All right. So this is his program. I'll show you the data I collect. This is my data sheet. Like so. Effect size is like, I can make it simple. Effect size is like, it's making sure on any given day I didn't go too heavy. Because when you do something random, studies have shown if any one day is too far above the prior 7, you can get someone hurt. So that's looking at each day I program compared to the 7 prior. Monotony and strain is like, this shows, people should waive their training, so it can't be the same. Like if I kick her butt every single day, I'll get her hurt. Odds are. It's called monotony. Even if I program moderate volume, but it's the same every day, studies have shown I can get her hurt. Because the brain literally gets bored, and they get hurt. So it's looking at how I wave it. Is it heavy days, medium days, light days? And it's a look, the strain, so this orange thing is the monotony. And then this, the gray is the strain. Strain is the monotony times the total volume. So if it gets past 2, which is not even close, I'm at 1.5. If it gets to 2.0, I'm at risk. She's at risk. So I'm just making sure it waves anyway. And then I look at weekly average intensities, weekly total volume. I look at INOL is relative intensity, meaning like, 80% times 1 is way different than 70% times 10. 70% times 10 is really relatively much harder. So it's making sure, see how I get above it some, as long as it dips down, gives them some time. There it is a little bit, that's down. Like you want to get them, just not every day. You gotta give them their body recovery time. And then this is the daily volume. But then this is something no one else does this. K value is like, I've got this program too, even for an athlete. So if I choose the things that I consider to be, for their sport, relatable, the types of strength, and then I will, at the end of their program, what I'll do is I will look at the how much they were able to do in those 3 things, and then if I want to get them a little bit better, I can say I want them to get them to average 10 more kilograms. I want the total of those 3 things to be 10 more kilograms next time. I know exactly what they need to do is the average intensity next time. So, yeah, there will be no sheets. Yeah, there will be no, yeah. So, no.
I even get the old school version of the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they won't even give this. It'll be on the app. So.
My oldest kid used to work out with someone. He done it on a sheet, and he just like slid the sheet off, and he would go.
Yeah. It still happens. You didn't age yourself. No, but I am nothing like that. No.
With the app, so they'll go through the work. So it'll start with a questionnaire, all of his performance questions he needs, and then each exercise will have a video with it to show an example of the movement.
I prefer they watch it the night before, so they'll at least know. Yeah, but I'm going to be there teaching them. But like, if you go on vacation, that's when you can still work out without me. It's my videos. I made the videos, and there's like you'll see where I've written my intent. Like, I want it to feel like X. Try to make it as much as if I'm there as possible. I coach people online too, like the dude in Ireland. I'm not there, so he needs to know exactly what I'm thinking. So you'll get it too. Yeah, but it's still like that. It's what drives me crazy. It's still like that. People they'll just do something. They'll just say, hey, what should I do today? Let's write it on the board. That's crazy. It needs to change. Things need to change. It's like, kids don't get a second chance. You get one chance to be in high school. And then if they want to, especially if they want to wrestle or do whatever in college, you get one shot at this. And so if you get somebody, give them a piece of paper, the dude doesn't need to be a coach. Like, he doesn't. No offense to him. Like, it's like that's nothing. That's nothing. You could have done that. You could go online now. Give me go. What is it? AI? Go, hey, give me a workout from some Joe Schmo, and they'll give you that.
Well, it's like you said, it's their goal. It's up to them what they want to do. But as a parent,
yes,
I just want her to use her potential.
If she really wants it, I promise you, with me, she'll
I know. That's
she'll
why
use
I'm
it.
up here.
Yeah.
I've known you long enough. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that part. It's just.
Yeah. She'll do it. If she doesn't, I'll tell you, and then it's up to you two to figure that out. But like,
Oh yeah.
I will do everything she wants. If she tells me she's supposed to be awesome, then I promise you, I'll make her as good as she can be. This guy came to me when I was finishing my master's at Lenore Ryan. We started a weightlifting team. It was brand new, and he was one of my first recruits. And like, honestly, to be honest, I liked him, but that's why I gave him a scholarship. I thought he'd be okay. He would score for us, but I never thought he would make Team USA, and he sure did. So he's probably, of all my athletes, he's definitely one of the top 3 surprises ever. Like, yeah. We had our talks too. Like, we had a few talks, but it was fun. Like, it's still with me. He's one of my boys, like, yeah. We had some good talks. Now, if you tell me you want to be great, actions need to meet your lips.
Now, after tomorrow, like you said, possibly you might open up on a Saturday for the summer hours.
Yeah, I was going to talk to them tomorrow. I'm meeting with Neil, the owner.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we need a day on the weekend. So because of that very thing, if they're working, I need a day when they're not fatigued, when I can do like speed stuff, especially. It'll be no problem. We'll do our strength, we'll do our work, but I need a day where I can go, where I need to focus on their speed, their explosiveness. That needs to be as unfatigued as possible. So, yeah, I'm talking to him tomorrow, so I'll know a lot of things for you guys tomorrow. So, yeah. More questions? That was a good question though. I need the world to know. That's why I'm doing all these free clinics. Things are changing. They will here, or I won't be here. Things have got to change. Yeah. No more kids getting hurt because coaches don't know what they're doing. So, yeah. Where are you from? Davie, are you? Do you live near here? Yeah.
We could walk to our house in probably less than 10 minutes.
You live in Kennerton or what?
No, we live on that road.
Yeah.
Kennerton's on.
Yeah. So you back there near the Bud? Ted Bud? Yeah. So he lives back there somewhere, I think.
Yeah, he lives just past our driveway.
Yeah. Am I still alive?
I'm about to end it.
All right, you can tell them in it. Yeah, they're here.
Say bye.
Bye. See you. Sorry, we didn't get the big thing there. This was better. This was more intimate. I liked it.
No, for the live stream, I didn't even need that. That was just for them if they.
Oh, good. Well,